Why is everybody saying Code of Duelist is a bad set? What's up guys, Proper Truth here. So today I'm going to be discussing with you guys about the set of Code of Duelist. I don't understand why everybody is saying it's a bad set. It's a beginning of an era. It's not considered everything that begins with something is always going to be something small. I heard people comparing it to Duelist Alliance. Me personally, you can't compare this to Duelist Alliance. Yes, they are both the beginning of their series, of their era, of their summoning mechanic. That is understandable. But if you really think about it and sit down, yes, Duelist Alliance is a better set. So to me, it's something you can't really compare about. But I will say this. When Duelist Alliance did come out, not a lot of people really paid attention to the set like that either. Yes, it was a good investment, but if you think about it, that was the time when Satella Knights was actually dominating the format. You had 3 Soul Charge, and you had 3 reinforcements of the army at the time. So that was pretty much that format of Satella Knights. Now, when Satella Knights got hit, that's when everybody started thinking about the Duelist Alliance. You did have some people build Shaddolls. Shaddolls were pretty freaking broken. I gotta admit, they are broken. Construct is still banned for a reason. Now, people playing Shaddolls, nobody was really paying attention to Yang Zings or BAs like that. The only reason why people started playing BAs is because Jeff Jones ended up topping with it. And when people said, oh snap, Jeff Jones tops with BAs, guess what? Everybody hopped on BAs, and that was the format between Shaddolls and BAs. Now that BAs ain't really doing nothing now because of True Dracos and Zoos, and the fact that Shaddolls, they got hit pretty bad. So now that era is kind of slowed down, and now you're entering into a new era. Pendulums in Duelist Alliance, the scales were really, they were mismatching. It wasn't really that much of a good scale because it was the beginning of its era. So the fact that you can't really compare such a set. You know, I'd rather compare this set to Duelist Genesis. Think about it. When Duelist Genesis was out, Dad Return was destroying the format. Like, it was gone. It was just dominating. And the fact of the matter is that when they decided to hit Dad Return, that's when people say, you know what, we're gonna go to Duelist Genesis. Now you did have some people make Light Swarms. Light Swarms weren't as big, like as topping as it was, because people, after they realized Duelist Genesis was broken, they decided to make Teledad, and Teledad dominated the format as well. So people, you can't judge this. This set's only been out for about 2 weeks, and people are judging by it. You can't judge it. You got to give it time. It's a beginning of an era, just like Duelist Genesis. People said synchros were bad. Yes, and I can understand why people do say it was a bad, because it's something that you have to learn to adjust to, just like we need to learn to adjust to the Link format. You just can't go and say, oh, this set is not worth money. Duelist Alliance was worth money after BA started topping, after Shaddol started dominating, and if you really think about it now, Yang Zing started kicking in as well. Not as much as BAs and Shaddolls, but they were kicking in. Yes, the format has changed, you know, now that we got an extra monster zone, I understand that. Duelist Alliance is its own set. When it first came out, nobody was using pendulums as like right away. Nobody wasn't. People were still on Shaddolls, and a little bit of people transitioning from Satella Knights into the Duelist Alliance set. So Duelist Alliance took a minute to kick in as well, just like it's gonna take a minute for Code of Duelist to kick in. But this set reminds me a lot more of Duelist Genesis than it does with Duelist Alliance. You know, it's its own different type of format. You have to adjust to it. And I can understand why people have their differences in it. World Challenge just jumped up in price itself. When at the sneak peek, Fairy and Guard Dog were $3 to $4, and I was picking it up at 2s. Now, Fairy is like 15 and Dog is like 12, or Dragon, Guard Dragon is like at 12. You see how it's slowly increasing? Why? Because you have people on YouTube trying to figure out a deck build on it. Because when the ban list does drop, guess what everybody's gonna do? They're gonna run to Code of Duelist. It's just like any other set. But me personally, I still compare this Code of Duelist set to Duelist Genesis rather than Code of Duelist to Duelist Alliance. That's my personal opinion. Again, it's how people see things differently, and I see this more of like a synchro ever, just with a different format, and that's how I see it. A lot of people are gonna judge it in the beginning, but when they actually start kicking in this set, and then we're actually starting to play a link format, then people are gonna change their minds on it. OCG is completely different. OCG has a different balance than us. They have different, not every ruling is the same, but they do have different rulings. For an example, in TCG, we can't control both extra decks. Only OCG has that ruling. It hasn't gotten here yet, and we don't even know we are gonna get it. So before anybody compares this set and say it's a bad set, I can understand why in a way, because it's valued low. It's actually valued low, and that's what happened with Duelist Genesis. It was valued low. Duelist Alliance wasn't valued as low as it is with Code of Duelist and Duelist Genesis, because you still had mechanics, you had engines. Everything in there was an engine. That's what it was. Here, this set and Code and Duelist Genesis, they never really had engines. If you consider Light Sworns an engine, then fine, but it wasn't really an engine. Duelist Alliance was more focusing, like you could put BAs with anything else. It worked better on its own, but some people actually benefited by playing BAs in another deck, or like Shaddolls. People played Shaddol, different type of variants of Shaddol decks. That's the reason why I'm saying you can't compare. Give it some time and watch this set jump up in price. After the ban list, depending what they hit, this set will jump up in price, because then you're gonna get people to be like, yo, I want to play Metaphor Gokis, or I want to play Tricksters, just because you can OTK your opponent, you know, or World Chalice because they spam. You know, a lot of I could tell you this much: people like myself who played Dark Synchrons for years, or played Synchrons in general for years, are gonna hop on World Chalices. World Chalices is a spamming deck, just like Synchros was a spamming deck. So that's my point on Code of Duelist. Don't judge it until you actually give it some time. Give it at least another month or two to start comparing. Wait until we see the ban list, and then you can start comparing when you start seeing people looking for specific decks within this set. You know, me personally, I think World Chalices is going to be a tier deck eventually. You know, we don't know yet, but because we don't have the ban list. Right now, True Dracos and Zeus are dominating. So until then, we can judge from there. You know what I'm saying? But that's my opinion on it, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you guys at the next video. Later.